All right, friends and families, welcome to SIPPS lesson number 32 of Challenge. Let's go ahead and dive straight into our new spelling sounds. Our new spelling sound for today is I sound, I, spell I-G-H, sound I. So when we see this in a word, we're going to know that it makes the sound I. Let's now review some of our older sounds that are a little bit tricky. Ready? Sound, s, sound, s, sound, k, k, sound, k, k, sound, s, sound, k, k, k. All right, my friends. Let's go ahead and take a look at our mixed list of words and syllables. Now that we've reviewed our spelling sound relationships and taken a look at our new sounds, let's practice seeing it in words and syllables, okay? Anything that's underlined in orange are our focus sounds for today, and anything that's underlined in blue are our view sounds, and they are there so that we can keep practicing. Alrighty, let's start with the first set of words and the first word itself. Underline sound, I, think, read, might. Underline sound, O. Remember, OW has O and ow, but it's going to be the O sound. Think, read, own. Underline sound, I, think, read, sigh. Underline sound, I, think, read, hike. Underline sound, remember the O-O spelling sound has two ways. It can be oo or oo or This is going to be the sound oo. Think, read, hoot. Underline sound, I, think, read, tight. Moving on to our syllables. Underline sound, I, think, read, lie. Underline sound, remember the O-O spelling sound has two sounds. It can be either oo or This syllable in particular is going to make the oo sound. Ready? Think, read, ool. Underline sound, I, think, read, rye. Underline sound, I, think, read, light. Fantastic, my friends. Let's go ahead and move on. For this morphemic transformation, our base word is going to be discuss. Discuss. Okay, ready? Read, discuss. Read, S. Read the whole word, discusses. Read, discuss. Read, ing. Read the whole word, discussing. Okay. Read, discuss. Read, d. This is going to make the T sound, okay? Read the whole word, disgust. Alrighty, read. Read, shun. Read the whole word, discussion. Okay, so now we have another base word for our morphemic transformation. We just finished the first one, which was discuss. Now we have a second base word here of hood. Ready? Read, hood. Read, child. Read the whole word, childhood. Read, hood. Read, mother. Read the whole word, motherhood. Okay, let's keep going. Read, hood. Read father. Oh, let me fix that. Father. Read the whole word. Fatherhood. Read hood. Read brother. Read the whole word. Brotherhood. Read hood. Whoop. Let's bring it closer. Read sister. Read the whole word. Sisterhood. Great job, my friends. Let's move on to our sight syllables for the lesson. Okay, so for the first syllable, we have sir. Spell C-I-R. Read again. Sir. Spell C-I-R. Spell, sorry, C-I-R. Read sir. Kind of like circus or circle. Alrighty, next one. First sound, read shun. Second sound, jun. So, the first sound has an S. The second sound will sound like a Z. Okay? First sound, shun. Second sound, jun. Okay? Kind of like the first sound, shun, kind of like discussion. The second sound, jun, kind of like television. Read, vade. Read, trans, meaning cross. Read, full, meaning full of. Read, photo, meaning light, meaning light. Read, pass. Read, viz, meaning see. Read, hood, spell H-O-O-D. Read again, hood. Read, sus. Read, pro. Whoops. Read, die. Okay, let's move on to reading by syllables. So, read as I write by syllables, okay? But listen first. Read, light. Read, ning. Try for the real word. Lightning. Great job. Okay. Read, D. And remember, if the syllable ends with a vowel, it will be a long vowel sound. Okay. Read again. D. Read, si. I know this one's tricky. It's not sigh. It's going to be si. Sometimes we have to be flexible. Okay. And then lastly, read, jeune. It's going to be the second sound, jeune. And that is an irregular sight syllable. We'll go ahead and just revisit that very quickly. Jeune. First sound is shun. Second sound is jeune. In the word decision, try for the real word. Decision. All right, let's keep going. Read, mid. Read, night. Try for the real word. Midnight. Read, care. Read, full. That's an irregular sight syllable. Try for the real word. Careful. Let's take a look at that on our irregular sight syllable. Yep, full. Let's keep going. Read, miss. Read, first sound, shun. Try for the real word. Mission. It's almost like that S disappears, huh? It's really tricky, so make sure you pay attention. And shun, again, that's an irregular sight syllable. Let's take a look at that again. Down here. Yep. Alrighty. Keep moving on. Read. Sim. Read. Read. Lar. Try for the real word. Similar. So we have we have a schwa above the A here. It went from to So that when we have sounds that change like that and it's not the normal vowel short or long sound, then we call that a schwa. So our whole word is similar. Alrighty, let's keep going. Read this. Read Gus. For sound, read shun. Try for the real word. Discussion. Alrighty, last word. Read Read pour. And that's an irregular sight syllable. Read tent. Try for the real word. Important. And let's double check that pour is an irregular sight syllable. It absolutely is. It's on our list here. Great job, my friends. Let's now move on to reading entire words. Alrighty, taking a look at our first page for reading entire words. Take a look at our first word here. Do we have an irregular sight syllable at the end? Yes, we absolutely do. So my friends, usually if we have an irregular sight syllable like that, sometimes it's easy enough that we are able to just go ahead and put a dot there to split our syllables. Is its own syllable, so it makes it easy because we know we can usually just put a dot and split the syllable right before that syllable. And that isolates the syllable. Okay, now we don't have to do anything more for that first word. So let's take a look. First syllable, roost. Second syllable, Try for the real word, rooster. Great job. Let's go ahead and keep going to our second word. Do we have an irregular sight syllable here in our second word? Yes, we absolutely do. It is bull. Bull is our irregular sight syllable. That's why it's underlined in green. And again, just like we can usually split it so that it's isolated by itself like that. We don't have to do anything more for that word. First syllable, fay. Second syllable, bull. Try for the real word, fable. Great job. Moving on to our third word here. Is there an irregular sight syllable? There is not. Now, how many consonants are in between our two vowels? We have one consonant in between our two vowels. Remember, with a VCV pattern, we usually or typically split right before the consonant so that it can go with the second vowel. First syllable, re. Second syllable, lax. Try for the real word, relax. Great job, my friends. Moving on. Okay, this friend is a little bit tricky. You'll notice that we have the goal spelling here. This is helpful because it usually tells us that it's going to be a syllable by itself. So we're going to go ahead and just split it there. There's nothing more to that. First syllable, spar. Second syllable, gull. Try for the real word, sparkle. Okay, moving down to our next word. Do we have an irregular sight syllable here? We do not. Now, how many consonants are in between our two vowels? We have two consonants in between our two vowels. And remember, with a VCCV pattern, we typically split in between our two consonants. So, first syllable, wall. Second syllable, rus. Try for the real word, walrus. Alrighty. Moving on to our next word. Whew, this one has a lot going on, okay? Do we have an irregular sight syllable? Yes, we do. Scent is our irregular sight syllable. Now, knowing that, we can go ahead and isolate it by itself, so we can put one dot there. We're not quite done with splitting the syllables for that word yet. We just know that since scent is an irregular sight syllable, it does need to be a syllable by itself, okay? Just like we did for rooster and fable. Now, let's take a look. How many consonants are in between our two vowels? We have two consonants in between our two vowels. With a VCCV pattern, we typically break it in between the two consonants. Now, let's go ahead and read it by syllable. First syllable, in. Second syllable, no. Last syllable, scent. Try for the real word, innocent. My friends, you'll notice that there's an upside down E above the O here. Instead of it being innocent, it's actually innocent. So, when a syllable does not sound like its usual short or long self, we call that a schwa. And we have a schwa above the O here because it's innocent instead of innocent. Okay, moving on. Second to last word on this page. Do we have an irregular sight syllable? No, we do not, my friends. Now, let's take a look at our consonants and vowels. Let's do it a little bit at a time, okay? Let's look at our VCV pattern first. How many consonants are in between our two vowels here? We have one consonant in between our two vowels. Now, typically with that VCV pattern, we would typically break it up right before the consonant. Now, let's take a look at our second VCV pattern. How many consonants in between our two vowels? One consonant in between our two vowels. Split where? Typically before the consonant. Now let's take a look at it. First syllable, ka, or you can say k. Second syllable, nay. Last syllable, re. Try for the real word, canary. You'll notice that we have two schwas. Miss X forgot to write that schwa down. But yes, we have two schwas in the word canary. That went from A to and that went from A to So, our real word is canary. And these are schwas because they don't sound like their typical short or long A sounds. Moving on to our last word here. Do we have an irregular sight syllable? Yes, we do. Our irregular sight syllable is gull. So, knowing that, we're going to go ahead and just split easily because gull needs to be a syllable by itself. So then that leaves us with our first syllable, and that's all we really need to do for this word. We don't need to do anything more. First syllable, wig. Second syllable, gull. Try for the real word, wiggle. Great job. Moving on to our last page and our last two words. Okay, do we have an irregular sight syllable here? No, we do not. So now let's take a look. How many consonants are in between our two vowels? We have one consonant in between our two vowels. So split where? Usually before the consonant. First syllable, co. Second syllable, coon. Try for the real word, cocoon. Now you'll notice that we have a schwa sign over, and that's because instead of it being O, it changes from cocoon to cocoon. Remember, a schwa tells us that it doesn't make its usual vowel short or long sound. So instead of co, it's ka, cocoon, and that's why that's a schwa. Moving on to our last word. This is a very big word, so let's work through it in chunks, okay? Let's take a look. Do we have an irregular sight syllable here? No, we do not. Okay, now let's take a look at our first VCV pattern. How many consonants are in between our two vowels? One consonant, split where? Usually before the consonant. Okay. Alrighty, moving on. Now let's take a look at our next VCV pattern. How many consonants are in between our two vowels? One consonant. Split where? Right before the consonant. Okay. Now let's move to our next one. Our next chunk. How many consonants in between our two vowels? 2 consonants in between our 2 vowels. Split where? In between our 2 consonants. Working on our last pattern down here. How many consonants in between our 2 vowels? 1 consonant in between our 2 vowels. Split where? Typically, we split right before our consonant. Now let's take a look at where we broke up all of our syllables. Ready? First syllable. You would think that's going to be an E, right? Actually, it's going to be E. Okay? So, first syllable, E. Second syllable, le. Instead of li, it's going to be le. E, le. Third syllable, men. Fourth syllable, ta. So that's ta. Last syllable, re. Okay? Try for the real word, elementary. This A is a schwa because it went from te to it went from A to Typically, if we have a syllable that's like it, that ends with a vowel by itself like that, it would usually be a long A, but actually because it's a schwa, it's going to be it's going to make the sound, it's going to change to the sound. So our whole word is elementary. Okay, friends, welcome to Guided Spelling. Our first word today is going to be reptile. I have a pet reptile. Everyone say reptile. Great job. Now, first syllable, rep. That's a sound out syllable. R, e, p. Second syllable, tile. Which I? Let's take a look. Which I? We're going to use the IE spelling for the sound I. Rep, that's the first syllable. T, t, I, oh, tile. That's going to be an L. Great. Don't forget to underline your sounds as well. Number 2, our word is mistake. I didn't mean to make a mistake on my test. Say mistake. First syllable, miss. And my friends, this syllable has a schwa, so use this spelling. It's not going to be an E, it's going to be an I. Miss. Okay. And then second syllable, dake. Which A? Let's take a look. You're going to use the AE spelling for the A sound. Miss. Dake. I'm going to write my sound first so I don't get confused. T, t, a, k, k. That's going to be a letter K. Okay. Great job. Moving on to our last word. Addition. I like subtraction, but I love addition even more. Say addition. First syllable, Now, this syllable has a schwa, so use this spelling, okay? I know, that has an A, but the sound, it has a schwa, so it's going to be Okay, second syllable, de. That's a sound out syllable. And then our last syllable, shun. Is that an irregular sight syllable? Let's check. Shun. It absolutely is. We're going to use this spelling for shun. Underline your irregular sight syllable. And then make sure you underline your sounds as well. Great job, my friends. Make sure your spelling looks just like mine. If not, go ahead and cross out your original if it's wrong, and then write the correct writing on top. Great job, my friends. I will see you in our next lesson.